Hey everyone, it's me, Anderson West, and I'm back for another video. Today I'm doing a review in a familiar setting. This time I'm reviewing the Zhiyun Molus G300 Bi Color COB Light. Let's get into it. So the Molus G300 is a Zhiyun's 300 watt chip on board, i.e. COB, bi-color LED light. Now 300 watt is a nice sweet spot for most lights that you need as a key light for say a talking head interview or a scene or a music video. 300 watts gives you a lot of flexibility, and it being bi-color means I can go from 2700 Kelvin all the way to 6500 Kelvin, which gives me a lot of flexibility to adjust in my various situations. You know, I can balance for, say, a room that has fluorescent lights, or I want to make a nighttime scene, so I can go all the way to 6500 to make it look really blue. Or if I want to, you know, replicate a nice warm day or a warm afternoon, I can go all the way to 2700. There is a lot of flexibility with this light, but the thing that's most flexible is its size. As you can see, I'm holding this light in my hand for this review, and it's tiny. It's tiny. When I compare it to my Aperture 300X, it's that long in comparison. That for me is a key part of this light. Now I'm gonna set the light up for you, and you can start to have a look at this is how we use it. So first, get my lighting stand, put it on here. Again, the build is like a mix between plastic. It's hard plastic. It's fairly robust, and it's got the lock mechanism here, which allows you to twist it on. It feels really good here. Again, it's plastic, but it's got a good build quality that I don't think is going to be an issue. Like with most of these LED COB lights, it's got a Bowens mount. It's got a nice latch mechanism here. You just press that and it releases. I can get this handy reflector that comes with the light. Okay, so nice little reflector. Your output. But as you can see, this is not all the light is. Because they've made it takes about as little real estate as possible on the top of your lighting stand, it needs to be in 2 bits, a bit like the Aperture that has the ballast with the power control. And that's what this guy is for. Now with this power control, you just hang it on here and you connect it in via this really nice, you know, what's those set up? That's good there. So with this control box, it's not plugged in at the moment. This is how you control both your dimmer and your CCT, so your different Kelvin that you use. So the light connects to power through a normal AC kettle lead here, they standard. They provide a really long one that's maybe about 3 meters long. I would say really long, but it's for most situations, maybe 3 or 4 meters long. So you plug that in, and to turn it on. Now, after using this, I've used this on several shoots now, mainly interviews. The thing about this light is it's got this control box, which I really like. The control box, it has this latch on it, and I'll admit, I hate to compare brands because obviously it's a different price range, but I love if they had just included some sort of mechanism to allow you to latch it onto your stand. Because me having this here, it doesn't like put any stress. If I could just latch it onto the stand here, it wouldn't put any stress on on this twist lever that I have for my lights. Whereas I think if I'm putting it like this, just think over time that's just putting a lot of stress on this particular amount here, which I'm not 100% happy with, but I understand it's a caveat. Now with this CCT, we go all the way up to, we have a wonderful, so this is, I'm gonna turn this way. So I am currently on, that's 0%, 1%. Let's go to 25%. That's 25%. And this back wall is about 5 meters away, maybe 6 meters away. So it's 25%. Let's do 50%. Let's go 75%. And then there's 100%. And we also have, and this is the various color temperatures. So this is at 5600 Kelvin. This is 6500 Kelvin. This is at 4,000 Kelvin. And then this is at 2,700 Kelvin. Okay. So the other trick with this light it has a mode where it's almost like a overclocking mode, which you can temporarily, you can make this light go from 300 watts in terms of 500 watts in output. And you access that max mode by clicking the two dials together. And then it automatically goes to 4 to 300 Kelvin and you get at full power here. The thing about using the max mode, yes, it gives you that temporary 500 watts of output, but it definitely makes the fans kick in. And that goes to my first drawback of the light. It is the fan noise. You know, again, I hate to compare this to an aperture, but compared to my 300X, I can barely hear the fan. Whereas this one, you could hear it, but you can't hear it on interviews. Like, you'll be curious if you can hear this now, but then again, my mic is right next to the fan of this, and it's at its max mode. Now, it was the same issue I had with the B500, where you're conscious about it because you can hear it and it's audible to your ear, but when you're listening back an interview, you can't even hear it, and it fits into the ambience of the room. But it's just up to you whether that's an acceptable level or not. So it's just one of those things you have to take into account. The other thing for me is this ballast here is, again, I wish it latched onto it, but then I also wish this connected to V-Lock battery. For me, the trick of this light is its size. And with a size like this, the first thing I think is, man, if I could just take this outside, you know, I'm having a night shoot, we're, you know, shooting under street lights and we just need something that has an output that could light up an area or the background. This would be ideal if it connected to battery power. Because this is an AC powered instead of DC, you can't use V-Lock batteries on it. Don't ask me the science behind AC and DC. It's just you're not able to do that. More ideal for Zhiyun if you just included some sort of V-Lock adapter to it. Even if it's sold separately, I think that would have added a lot of value to this light because, again, the size of it lends itself to something you'd be able to use in exteriors quite quickly. Okay? Now, the other caveat is, with this light, there's vents everywhere. This is not waterproof by any means. I'd be worried about using this in a really dusty environment and in the rain. I wouldn't do it because it's got vents everywhere on the light itself and on the power controller. So the fan just kicked in a little bit more whilst I was explaining to this, and I'm gonna let you hear the different modes. Again, I'm right next to the fans, and I'm gonna then put it away at a reasonable distance of where it would be for, say, a key light in an interview. So bear with the lighting for a short moment. I'm just gonna put it where my other aperture light is, just so you can see whether that fan noise is acceptable or not. Just for a demonstration, this is the fan on full power. My lapel mic is here. I'm overexposed. I put the G300 right next to my key light, which is the Aperture 300X, and it's about the same distance away. But here, let's listen to it now. So this is the light at 100% in non-max mode, again in the same place, again right next to my Aperture 300X, and it's at 100%, not a max mode, and this is the fan noise. So I brought the light back after that test to continue to talk about the ballast. So the light's at 100% now. So if the fan kicks in, this is not max mode, this is regular 100%. So now I'm just going to talk about my issues with the light. Now the control box I think is a great tool. This control box, I love that it's extended from the light. You know, being able to connect this to the light just gives you a little bit more length, so you can put this at a top of a really high stand. You know, I'm thinking a 20-foot C stand or a combo stand. You could put that on there, no problem, and you have plenty of extension on this to be able to do that. In terms of who I think it's for, Now, I've been using it for a few weeks, and we're using it in various shoots. I found myself using this light more in corporate interviews, or talking head interviews for different documentaries I was doing, because it was just so light and it was easy for me to set up, quick and easy to set up, lightweight, and a great output. And this in combination with the Zhiyun's light dome that they have, a really good bang for your buck combo. Now, I found myself when I was shooting my corporate interviews and I just needed a lightweight kit that was really useful, I had a trick that I'm going to show you now in which this became really portable with a few other solutions. So just watch out for that right now. So just to emphasize the portability of the G300, I have packed it in a Peli case, but not by itself, with 4 other lights. So I have in here in this Peli case the G300, the G300's power adapter ballast, I forget the name of it's called, the B500, and an MC20 and an MC15. So this is a really convenient case that I have for corporate shoots where I'm filming in an office building and I'm by myself and I can't take loads of lighting up in a small elevator or on my car. I could just take this Peli case and know I've got a really powerful 500 watt light or a lovely rim light in my G300, or key light depending on, you know, how much output I need. And then I've got the MC20 as I found a lovely rim light, but I'm gonna talk about that in that review that I'll post on in a few weeks time. And again, having this MC15 as just a nice accent light. So again, for me, Zhiyun has committed to making these really powerful lights that are small in use. I know they have some 100 watt lights. I haven't had those for review yet, but with this little kit here, I feel like I can cover a lot of lighting situations. So it's been real useful to me. And again, being able to fit the lights in a Peli case just means I'm a bit more secure, so if it falls to the ground, well, it's really useful. Back to the G300. Okay, so now you've seen my Peli case with this, the B500, and a few other lights in. I loved using that. It's all in my Peli case. I just had to make sure I had another bag with the Bowen's mount reflector like this, or the dome, and I felt like that would help me in a lot of interview situations or lighting situations. Really useful. Now, who's this light for? I would say, you know, small teams, videographers, content creators who just want a really small light that gives a lot of output and you're always connected to power. Perfect. Now, if you're a gaffer with a van full of lighting kits and you're used to like the higher end lights, I'm not sure this would be the right light for you because it doesn't have that DMX control. It's not bad. There's no way to battery power it or to connect it to battery power unless you have a large power cell, which defeats the point of having this small portable light. The build quality is good, but you would just, you know, on a large set where loads of people are handling your stuff, things get dropped, and if you're not able to mindfully know where your stuff is all the time and who's handling it, it might get damaged in a fall or an incident, like any light would, but obviously this is hard plastic and not metal, so that's something to bear in mind. So that's my thoughts on the G300. A really powerful bi-color light that's really small to use. It's got some quirks to it, but depending on what kind of situation and what you're filming, I think this could be a really useful bit to a videographer, content creator's kit, and I think that. But let me know in the comments what you think about the lights, or if there's any questions you have about it. But until next time, thank you for watching, and remember, stay shooting.